This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Are we ready to rock? The question is, will the Canes be ready to roll on Saturday night? That is the question. That is why we bring on Manny Navarro. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good. Oh, how are you?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain unless we'll see on Saturday night if I'll have plenty of things to complain about. Obviously, they're favored by 7.5 now at this point. So Vegas feels like FSU is comfortably the team to win in this game. The question I have is, Van Dyke, you have felt since last week that he would not play. We are now less than 24. Well, no, actually, we're a little more than 24 hours away from the game. What are you feeling still about this? About Tyler Van Dyke playing tomorrow?
Well, I mean, they've gone with the story the whole week, right? Saying that he's going to end up playing in this game, or at least practicing leading up to this game, right? He's preparing for it. But whether or not he actually suits up and plays, though, I honestly have no idea. I would be surprised still. My gut still tells me to expect Jake Garcia out there.
It's just, that's what kills me in this matchup right here. If you tell me Jake Garcia is playing, I almost feel like the Canes have no shot. If you tell me Tyler Van Dyke's playing, I say Canes got a shot. Right. In fact, I'm taking the 7.5 if Tyler Van Dyke is playing. That's how much I think a difference in this game. Should I feel that way, or am I wrong for thinking that way?
No, I think you're 100% accurate. I mean, look, the bottom line is Jake Garcia, I mean, they ran a very, very conservative offense in their win at Virginia. And that's specifically because he was in there and Tyler wasn't. I think, we saw Josh Gaddis open this offense up when Tyler was in there. They turned it into a passing team, which is what they really have to be if they're going to have a chance to win games and score points. They're not good enough up front, to dictate to teams, hey, we're going to run the football. Like, Henry Parrish can do a decent job running the ball, but he can't carry you to a win. This offensive line isn't good enough to carry you to a win. You need Tyler Van Dyke to hit Will Mallory, to hit Colby Young, to hit the big play occasionally, to get this offense in the end zone. So without question, they're a better team with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, and I think last week proved it.
Yeah. Does Miami have the secondary to make some plays against Jordan and the boys? And can that front seven also contain him as a runner? Because that's the thing about that guy. He is a multi-talented guy and can hurt you in different ways. But the good thing is he will have the brain fart with his arm. Yeah. He will make a mistake. So does Miami have the secondary in the front seven to control him and force him into mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, I got faith in Kevin Steele to be a good play caller and to put guys in positions to do stuff. I mean, look, they're still one of the best teams in college football as far as getting pressure with your front four. So when you do that, you can drop guys into coverage. You can make it tougher for other teams to throw the football. And, Jordan Travis is having a great year, but he's not an NFL quarterback. Oh, I mean, he's too little. He's not this is a guy who you're getting the best out of him right now. He's playing at his top level coming into this game.
And that's where I give that kid credit. He's gotten better and better and better. He has continued to improve. His trajectory has gone like this. You're right. He's not an NFL quarterback, but he's turned himself into a pretty good college quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like De'Aaron King in a way, right? Where if he decided to take off and run, he could be like what De'Aaron was at times for Miami, where he's a real threat. I think that's kind of what he's become for FSU. To me, the problem for Miami this week is going to be linebacker, because you had Wesley Bissainthe go down. He had an injury. You had a couple of other guys that were going to sort of provide some depth at that position. You don't have any depth going into this game. You basically got 3 linebackers you're going to be rotating in there. And anytime you got to depend on Corey Flagg and Keontra Smith and Caleb Johnson for 60, 70 snaps in a ball game with a running quarterback and some really elusive backs that FSU has, that's, to me, is where Miami is in some big-time trouble against Florida State. Johnny Wilson, look, he's a big, tall receiver, but I actually, believe it or not, I've got faith that DJ Ivey can fight with him, be physical, and has the size and the arms to knock some balls down. The question is, Can Miami keep Jordan in the pocket, and how much will FSU rely on him to score points for them running the ball in the red zone? I think that's where Miami is vulnerable going into this game.
All right. For you, if you're going to control Travis, give me the two most important players on that defense.
Yeah, I would say number one, Leonard Taylor. He's starting to really play like a 5-star recruit is supposed to play. You saw it last week against Virginia, creating pressure up the middle, disrupting plays in the backfield. He's got to be a disruptor. He's got to be a Russell Maryland, Warren Sapp type player in this game for Miami, where Florida State needs to double him, so maybe triple him to stop him from disrupting what they want to do offensively, because then that's going to free up, the Jafari Harveys of the world, the Mitchell Agudes of the world to make plays. And I would say the second most important person after that is James Williams, who's supposed to be back and playing in this game. He's your last line of defense, right? He's the safety back there. Cam Kitchens is kind of your Ed Reed. James Williams is supposed to be your best tackler. And at times, James Williams has not been a very good tackler. He will lead in with his shoulder. He goes for the hit. You see guys bounce off of him and continue. If Miami's going to win this game, they need James Williams to be at his best, and he's coming off of injury, missing the last game. So I think, to me, those are the two guys that are most important for Miami in this game.
Okay, so now on the offensive side, if I don't have a lot of hope in Jake, and then they don't really have the running game to carry them and power through and keep the FSU offense off the field, how in the hell do you win the game offensively with Jake Garcia then?
No turnovers, execution, convert third down, keep their offense off the field. Look, even if you're not getting touchdowns because maybe you're not capable of it, get in field goal range and get points. If that's what you got to do, just use Borregales. Borregales was 4 for 4 last week. He's not a bad kicker, okay? Yes, he's missed some chippies early in his career, but if you just take points, if you can get 3 points.
You want us to resurrect Tony Sperano is what you're saying.
Well, no, I mean, obviously you want to get in the end zone, right? But my point is, don't have setbacks. Don't get to the FSU 30-yard line and then face a 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 11 and then take a sack. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in field goal range. Get points one way. If you can't pick up the first down, dive forward. I don't care. If you're going to get sacked, run to the line of scrimmage and get tackled there. Don't lose 10, 11, 12 yards where now all of a sudden you're punting and pinning them back. I think this is the kind of game where every point for Miami is going to count if they're going to have a chance to win. And obviously they're going to need to force turnovers. I think without forcing Jordan Travis into mistakes, Florida State wins this game.
Okay, you brought something to, well, not you, but all of you guys brought something interesting. Well, you do many things interesting on Tuesday nights in the State of Florida Gridiron Roundtable, but something specifically for our conversation, something that Ira brought up that I thought was very interesting. I wanted to ask you about that in this segment on Friday. When it happened on Tuesday, I go, oh, this is something we got to talk about on Friday. So Saturday night is not really about a national championship. It's not about positioning yourself to try to take down Clemson, because neither one of them are really in position to take down Clemson. So it's really more about recruiting. And the interesting part that I did not think about when Ira brought it up, it's that Norville and Mario are in two different stages of selling their program and recruiting, whereas Norville has to prove, see, what we've done for 3 years is working. We're better than Miami. Mario, on the other hand, has to say, you see, I just got here and we beat FSU and they've been at it for 3 years building. So on the line, it's not so much about a W or a loss or a conference championship or a national championship or a high ranking or anything like that. It's more about state recruiting than anything else for the next couple of years. That's what this game means more than anything else. Yay or nay?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, none of these teams are in contention for anything meaningful beyond the bowl game. For Florida State,
and those bowl games aren't meaningful either, by the way.
No,
the ones they're eligible for.
And when I say meaningful for bowl games, I mean the 15 extra practices that the coaches get and want, right, with their young players. That's what's meaningful for them. It's not the actual game. For me, yeah, I think it's 100%. I think Ira hit it on the head, 1,000 times over. I mean, for Florida State, this game, mean, look, the bottom line is they're not recruiting at the same level Miami and Florida are. Okay, they just aren't. Like Miami's 8th, Florida's 9th in that 247 Sports Composite. FSU's in I think 19 or 18, somewhere around there, in those rankings. And if you just look at who's committed to the program, Florida's got 14 of the blue chip recruits. Miami's got 8 in state. I think FSU has 5, one more than UCF. So to me, without question, this is a much more important game from Florida State. From a big picture perspective of, hey, where are we in this turnaround for this program? So Mario can strike a blow to Norvell with a win in this game and really show, hey, listen, this guy, he needs transfers. He's not doing much with the freshmen that he's recruiting. And the truth is, they aren't. I mean, that's why my question to Ira on Tuesday night was, what's going on with player development? Because all the guys who are making plays for FSU are transfers. It's not a whole lot of guys that he's recruited that are doing this. So that to me is what a lot of the recruits that are going to be in attendance in the 2024 class, forget it. It's not even 2023 anymore. Oh, it's the 2024, the juniors, right? The guys that are the big time players, they're coming to this game to watch that, to see who is developing, who is becoming important, and how are coaches utilizing those players. So it's an important game, for Mario to sort of show, hey, we're helping guys get better. Look at Nigel Kelly, for instance. He just got here and he's getting sacks for us. He's playing a lot for us. Look at, some of the other guys that have come here. Ja'Cory Brown, right? He's got a role in this offense. He's playing right away. Come help us. So that's the kind of stuff that you sell at a game where you've got a 5-3 Florida State and a 4-4 Miami.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What are you working on at the Athletics so Canes fans can get ready for this Seminole game?
Yeah, I've been working all week talking to some former players, just why Miami has been so mediocre for the last 2 decades. So I'll have something on that coming up. I've also, I know this isn't a Miami story per se, but Drake May, the guy's all of a sudden in the Heisman race. You got a great quarterback at a program like North Carolina. He's going to be around to terrorize Miami next year as well. Where does he come from? What's his origin story? I talked to his high school coach yesterday about that, so there'll be a story on Drake. There's a lot of different things. I'm going early to Atlanta next week to go to spend some time at a couple of Georgia high schools. Miami's got one of the top linebackers in the country from up there in Georgia at Fayetteville High School. So I'm gonna be around working a lot of different things though.
Well, thank God Tua's on a roll, because if not, that Drake May story. Oh yeah, man, we can draft for him. Let's go. Let's draft him.
By the way, I tweeted something out about Tua a couple of days ago, and people were pissed at me. Miami fans got mad at me. But all I said was, look, I love the fact – all I did was tweet that I love the fact that he kind of went after the media a little bit with the jab, like, hey, what about the deep ball? I thought that was great. The only thing I said was, look, hold off. Like, don't keep doing this every single week. Hold off until you lead them to a playoff win, and then you really stick it to the media, right, for all the criticism. Like, just win a few more games. That's all I want to see. A little bit more winning. That's all.
Yeah, but you know what? I got a counter to that. Here's what I always get. Because I get that, because obviously I've been a Tua guy from the get-go. And so some people tell me, well, slow down on Tua. And I go, well, why should I slow down on Tua when you guys had him buried already? You said he sucks, he can't throw, he's too short, he can't handle tough coaching. So you already had him buried. So why can't, if you had him buried, why can't I elevate him? You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm willing to go out on a limb, which I've done that my whole life in radio, that I go out on limbs. So it doesn't really matter to me that when I was writing for you guys.
Can do it, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But when I was writing for you guys 4 years ago, I said fire Tannenbaum and Gase and put Chris Greer in place. And at that point, you know what the narrative is, right? Oh, no, Chris Greer's been here for 15 years. He's part of the problem. No, you idiots. He's never been in charge. He hasn't been part of the problem. And guess what? Look at him now. He's probably the best GM you've had in place in 20-plus years right now. Because I don't know if you know another GM that's done the shit that he's done here in the last couple of years. Not even Jimmy. Jimmy built a defense. This guy is building a team, found a quarterback and a coach and everything. It's different, dude. It's different. We haven't had a guy like that.
He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. All I'm saying for Tua is I love the fact that he's bantering with the media. That, to me, I want to see more of in sports in general, right? Like, have a little fun, make this fun. All I'm saying is
Jimmy Butler goes after the media.
Sure.
Every time you deny him, you think he can't do this, his team can't do this. he reminds the media right away, oh, you guys said this, you guys said that. He lives and feeds off that shit like Michael Jordan. That's all.
That's why I got into this. So I enjoy that part of sports so much, when you can sort of have a little swagger to you, right? A little confidence. All I'm saying about Tua is, man, wait till the end of the season. Like, lead them to a couple playoff wins, do something, and then have your fun, because now they can't take that away from you. Right now, all I'm saying is they're 5-3. Wait till the end. Wait till you do it, because I don't want for him is I don't want people to turn around if in case something goes wrong here down the stretch, he gets hurt again, something happens where, well, look at that, he's talking crap and they were 5-3. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna kind of come back to rub him the wrong way, and I don't want that for the kid. I just think wait till you win and shut everybody up. That's
right. Either way, they're still waiting in the wings and waiting for him to fail so they can bounce, because they were already wrong. So now they got to try to find a way, because now all those people that said, oh, too short, noodle arm, all that stuff, now they're like, well, he has a hard time staying healthy. That's really also the concern with him. No, dude, that wasn't what you were talking about. You said he was too short. You said he didn't have an arm. You said he can't play, that kind of stuff. So now they're using that as a crutch, But my
fear with him. My fear with him, and the reason I wanted Justin Herbert and not him from the get-go, because I'm be honest and take responsibility for what I said. It's what I said. My whole thing was the hip injury, and I know how serious hip injuries are, and that was always my concern with him. If he's coming in as damaged goods, that's what I worried about, durability.
Right. Yeah, and that's the durability for me was my only concern with him because of all the injuries in Alabama. I never was concerned that he couldn't play. That I saw that in Alabama. I don't need to see that. I know that he can play. The timing, the accuracy, the anticipation, that shit you can't teach, dude. Either you have it or you don't, and he clearly has it.
And he's got the right coordinator now.
Yeah, and now he's got which is always. I always use Steve Young, because I'm old enough to see Steve Young kick ass in the LA Express and then go to Tampa Bay and look absolutely terrible. And then Bill Walsh says, oh, good, I can buy low. Boom. And I pluck him away from Tampa Bay, and then that's it. And then he goes and wins a Super Bowl and goes on to the Hall of Fame, because that's what he was in the first place. What he was in the LA Express, what he was at BYU, what he was at San Francisco. Why was he that in Tampa Bay? Because your atmosphere was absolutely terrible, dude. What are you going to do? Archie Manning, same shit. If you're in a bad situation, dude, it's never going to help you as a player. Just the way it is. And by the way, back to that swag stuff that you talked about, the team you're covering, they were loaded with those guys back in the day.
That's one of the things missing. There's no question about it. And a lot of that swagger was just leadership. It was guys that had that swagger naturally. Honestly, I said this the other day. The one guy the last Hurricane who had any swagger was DJ Dallas. In my mind, like of guys that I covered, where I felt the guy had confidence and could and would go up to his teammates and they respected what he said. That's the last guy that I remember really feeling that in terms of covering this team.
And he's in the NFL.
And he's in the NFL. So, yeah.
Although I thought King had some swag.
He did. He was confident in his own right.
And they responded to him.
They did respond to him, but it was different. Like, I guess there's in my mind, I always saw it as a guy. Well, there's a ceiling to him, right? He's not going to really play in the NFL.
Right?
Like, I looked at it like, okay, who's the guy who could carry them, like lift them, and he did. Right. And you're right. Maybe I'm disregarding Derek. I don't mean to. For me personally, who reminded me of old school Kane, it was DJ.
I just saw everything elevate when he was around. You know what I mean? Sure. It was just, and that's kind of what you want in a leader. You know what I mean? And there's so few of those over the last 10, 15 years. It's a real shame. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. More importantly, please subscribe to The Athletic and support him and all the great writers there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro. And that is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.